Hello and welcome to our latest challenge of the month with me, Adrenaline. We're playing with Yongle in live Yongle reaction. And it's very strange, very unique, and I'm going to come to the details in a bit. But first I want to give you a heads up. I decided to do a live stream of this particular challenge, and it's on my Twitch channel, and I'll leave a link below for the collection that you can all watch nicely and neatly from this and go back to my Twitch and enjoy that. However, in the process, I want to explain some things about this video. Because it was a live stream, I didn't do my traditional organized way of, allocating the 20-minute video to various highlights and specifically preordaining what I would say for each one of them, almost pre-scripting them so that I have a concise, clear manner to each section. Instead, you will see something a little more in real time. It will be a little more sporadic, a little more spaced out. I'm thinking, I'm wondering what to do next. It's live, right? So, do you prefer if I continue to, do this sort of new approach for things like challenges? It won't be every video. Most of the other videos will be the same old, way of method. Or would you, prefer me go back to how I used to do previous challenge of the months? I'm experimenting. I'm trying to do different things. I'm interested in what you guys want to see. I'm interested in what you prefer. So let me know down in the comment section below. This game is really weird. This game only allows you to win in science or culture, and you get to choose which one. That's relatively consistent with our challenge of the months. What isn't consistent with our challenge of the months is that every single firstly, there are only 4 people in this game. Usually we're working with 8, maybe 6, usually 8. And the other 3 civilizations are all Yongle. So it's like a Yongle mirror match. It's very, very, very weird. However, because of that, it's also a pre-built map to specifically facilitate science or culture. You'll come across at the city-states that are put in this game. There are no industrial city-states. There are no militaristic city-states. There's 1, maybe 2 of the other types, and then the rest of them are all the science and culture city-states. And that heavily predicates what I choose to do in this game. Because currently, yes, there's maybe a few mountains here. I might have considered settling with the mountains here. But I end up going to the coast, because, the sailing boost and having access to the harbor and getting a good harbor is a nice start for either kind of win con. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the game. Well, while the video may be a very different setup, we still have some things that are staple. And of course, we're about to look at Yongle's kit. Now, while Yongle might be this might be the first time we've played as Yongle, it's not the first time we played as China. So the second half of this, we'll probably summarize over and just, talk once again about my general feelings about them. But the Leisure is very interesting, but also, when I first heard about the Leisure, when Yongle first came out from, bigger content creators and so on, they were all, ecstatic about this thing, saying how broken and busted it was. And I just don't get it, because throughout the entire game, even to the very end, the speed of the Leisure project to complete takes the whole game. It's not like a 2-3 turn kind of thing like most other projects. It's crazy. How do you benefit? I guess for each turn that you're running the Leisure, you're getting benefits for it, rather than necessarily having to complete one. And the idea is that you're not supposed to complete them. It still seems very strange to me. All cities receive projects where they can convert 50% of their production into food, faith, or 100% if it is gold. Cities with 10 or more population receive +2 gold, +1 science, and +1 culture per turn for each population city. Now, if you know me, you know I like growing my cities. So that second half is very lucrative. And I do like having size 10 or more cities as much as I can. And we brought, throughout the game, we benefited quite a bit from a bunch of our cities reaching that relatively meager target. But the first half, it mind boggles me how that's ever really that good. Especially when you're using one of your most important tools, your production queue, instead of producing units, instead of producing districts or whatever, into that. Faith, gold, and even food do not replace your production queue. You can't, without governor's help at least, build districts with these things, or you can't like necessarily get access to a lot of specialties that production gives you, like spies and like the government plaza and its buildings and so on and so forth. So it makes it very strange to me how this was ever considered like broken. Anyway, the dynastic cycle, you get 50% for the boost instead of 40, which is incredibly nice. I've used that to great effect, especially getting the free ones from each wonder. We do build a few wonders in this game, so stay tuned for that. The Crouching Tiger, I wish it would be more specified with the number of like its combat strength. It says it's high. What does high mean? I'm surprised with this guy being newer that they didn't update that and give us a specific value, but And the Great Wall, which is nice for the E.T.A score along with the Crouching Tiger, but isn't really something I ever invest too much time in. Like with builders, again, I'll reiterate, there's so many reasons for having builder charges. Building wonders, making chops, getting that production for them, improvements. Even in science games, getting to the end and getting those builders to speed up the projects for the lasers, for the Terrestrial and the Lagrange projects towards the end, the off-world missions. There is no way I can freely spare builder slots, especially the number that the Great Wall would want to build this. Okay, welcome everyone. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to retain the video for this section. It's only for sections 2 through 4, Barren Wasteland, and a couple of ones after. This is because I was listening to copyrighted music during the original stream of this, which you can see in the Twitch link below this video. But YouTube is rather more stringent on their copyright restrictions, so I've had to mute the original video, and I've instead decided to make a commentary of the things that you see here in this section instead. I'll be hopefully explaining my choices and describing my actions as we go through just a little part of this video. Like I say, part 5, we will have our normal audio and video resumption. So I hope you enjoy this ad hoc intervention instead. We're currently trying to decide where we want to put our cap. There is very little to work with, so we're going to move our warrior to try and get vision first. This is so we don't commit to any particular movement with our settler in turn 1, because a quick settle and early settle is always very important. We find ourselves with a lake to the north, and I decided that is a decent opportunity to make an aqueduct. Now, this land is very flat. There is very little to speak of that benefits a science race, so my initial interpretation is to try and go culture. I decided that with the help of the aqueduct that we place a pin for down, we can put the theater square in the middle. We can have an adjacent harbor and obviously a commercial hub, which I do like the boosts, the adjacency boosts to our economy for having both adjacent to one another, and try to make ourselves a decent theater square for adjacency theater square. It's not until we find Geneva that my decisions change. The terrain is often a very early factor to decide what direction to go with a game, but it's not the only or deciding one. Geneva is incredibly strong when you're not at war, and I love to be not at war with any civ in pretty much any game I play. Being Suzerain of Geneva gives you, what is it, plus 10% science? Or is that like communism? Maybe it's plus 15. But it's a really solid chunk to boosting our science race if we choose to go science. So it is at this point, early in the game, that I choose to pivot to a science. And of course, that aqueduct will help with a decent industrial zone instead. And there he is. A mirror. That's right, this is the moment when I realized that all the other civilizations in the game are also playing as Yongle of China, which is an incredibly strange circumstance to be in. I didn't even think was necessarily possible. But this is the first time I've seen it done in a challenge of the month. So it's going to be very much a mirror match, trying to see if we can outfox and outwit the AI with the same exact tools. And there are only 4 of us in this game, which is rather small compared to the usual 8. I also wonder if there's going to be less religions available for that, so I try to get one as quickly as possible. The hills are alive. This is the last section that I've needed to doctor in this way, and I hope you've enjoyed my commentary over it. We find ourselves building our second city with a settler roaming down south, and contrary to the capital, this place is abundant with hills, as you can see by the graphic. And that makes me decide to build a Ruhr Valley here. Get the irrigation. Or hard cask irrigation, and it's bloody cheap. Pyramids? We're unlikely to get it. Very unlikely. This late into the game. But sure. Go for pyramids. Will we get this pyramids? It's prediction time, everybody. Will we get these pyramids?
Divide and rule.
It'd be very nice to get these pyramids. If this was a deity game, I'd almost certainly say we would fail. But I honestly don't know, given it is not a deity game. Do not. May just get there. Is it actually possible?
From the height of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down on us.
Yay! Something I never get in a deity game. I never get the chance. And there it is. The pyramid. That's very good. And what it says, of course, is grants a free builder automatically. All builders can build 1 extra improvement. Better plop it down as soon as possible, and I might have to use Amani to help me out. I would like you to just stave off for like 4 turns. Maybe 6. Why do you have to come this way? Can't you go the other way? I know you want to be there. I hate it. No, don't let them come over. This is dangerous. Open up your head and feel the shell shock. However, you will stem the bleeding with that for now. 7 turns. You better make that faster. 4 turns. Far more doable. Yep. Oh, you. Yes, it's fine. Oh, really?
Without mathematics.
Without mathematics. Some people would call that heaven. However, there are some things. I will wait a couple of turns, I guess. But and then I'll change to potentially, oh. I'll wait a couple of times. Then I'll change this to reduction on tile costs. Honestly, this is a 2, right? Go here. There's no way any of these can actually take my condemn, as it were, and kill my apostle. You will probably see that they will try and get to this apostle, but they don't have more than 2 movement. None of these units have more than 2 movement. Recon units and the like have more. Maybe later units like tanks and such have 2 movement, but none of this has 2 movement. So they'll try and come to here possibly, but then we'll just take all of them in one fell swoop. Okay.
May I make a suggestion?
No. Now that Barbarian camp has been defeated, still pretty much cleared the area. We're not going to get our boost for this. That's what I want. Got our builder back. Look, also look. Commercial 100% commercial hub in the harbor district adjacent. We have here plus 100% harbor district bonuses. This is supposed to replace that. So what if I place it on top of this one? What will happen to this one? Watch this one, the harbor adjacency. Press this. Really? Okay. Instead of that, where did 100% campus? You can see it no longer exists. Okay, so usually if I leave a card, like take a card out there, public works, same card. Public works, public works, public works. You can see that this is called naval infrastructure. So it begins with N. So it will be positioned in this list, right? Between Medina Quarter, M, and public transport, P. I like to P. This will be positioned in between, just like this one, P, is positioned here. Okay? So if I do this like this, it just vanishes. What the fuck? Now I know why, because it was supposed to have vanished already, but that's like such a weird bug. Also this one. We might as well leave this one. Right? We now have plus 200% industrial zone. As long as we don't touch this, we have plus 200% industrial zone. I wouldn't want anything else. Oh yeah, give me that plus 200% industrial zone. Because this one's supposed to be replaced as well, but it isn't. Oh, now you know. Why? We had one. What happened? 15 from units. Honestly, I really like this. Plus one movement's really awesome.
On the earth.
Yeah, gun tech. I don't need. I just need to go to every single city and say, build a terrestrial. And then. Yeah. Stop that. Terrestrial. Build a terrestrial. Build a terrestrial. Oh, yeah. You can build a Lagrange. Lagrange requires aluminium. So we only use our most powerful set. Everything else terrestrial. External. We get to do that not once, but not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8.
There is
well,
nothing
8.
like
Okay.
a dream.
We get to do it 8 times. Now everybody is on drugs. And as everybody is on industrial zone logistics projects, powering their individual terrestrial thing. And this is now a whopping 11 turn. Travel 10. 2 turns. Victory! Yes! And then we pass a turn with shift enter. Might stop us. It might not. And that's GG. GG!
everyone. I'm gonna lie. This is the final turn, everyone. That's a science race. Live 6. That's why it's taken a while, because it knows I've won.
Much as our ancestors did ages ago, we thrust forward into the unknown. The first pioneers set forth on an uneasy course. And yet once again did our people thrive. Now, under your leadership, we plot a new course and make another world our own.
Yay! Congratulations, you earned a Hall of Fame badge. I've earned a Hall of Fame badge for every single one of these challenges. Originally they were called Abundance or something. Age of Abundance.